Hey everybody, it's me again, Shelley. We're going to keep going this week on this concept that I'm still looking at. I really want to do for my dissertation. At really looking at this idea of liberty of conscience, religious liberty, and how those ideas affected our founders, especially Jefferson and Madison, and how those ideas translated through the theological beliefs of religious dissenters. What I looked at this week was really enlightening in that I'm finding out that political scientists and historians see these ideas much differently. Two of the articles were by political scientists and one by historian, so it's very interesting. The first one is Thomas Lindsay's James Madison on Religion and Politics, Rhetoric and Reality. He claims that recent legal cases in which Madison's memorial and remonstrance have been cited are really ironic, in that he claims that the things that Madison says in the document are much more rhetoric than reality. Madison really didn't hold those views. He claims that, quote, Madison was hostile not only to religious establishments, but also to religion itself. He uses Federalist 10, Federalist 37, and his October 24th, 1787 letter to Jefferson. And he makes these claims to support that the ideas, Madison calling religion an oppressor and saying detrimental things about religion. He ignores the context, though. This is fresh after the general assessment debate and the passage of Jefferson's statute, and he really admits he's using circumstantial evidence and filtering through his own bias. He highlights an issue, really, that can arise when cynics and opponents of religion try to tackle these ideas with people that really came from a different worldview. And he also needs to understand that a criticism of the institution is not necessarily hostility. There's a difference between church and faith, and there's a difference between criticism and hostility. So that's what came out of that for me. The second one was Joseph Lokkens' Faith in the Founding, the Influence of Religion on the Politics of James Madison. He looks at James Madison's correspondence, public and private, public documents, speeches, and he concentrates on the language of the memorial and remonstrance. And he argues that Madison put liberty of conscience above every other natural right, and that the government, Madison thought, should not interfere in any way with man's natural inclination to find spiritual truth. And it's not just the law of man, it's the law of God. He further claims that Madison's views on government and its role in the private areas of conscience are derived from theological framework and not necessarily political philosophy, which is something I really want to explore more. The third article was by J. Judd Owen, and it's called The Struggle Between Religion and Non-Religion, Jefferson, Backus, and the Dissonance of American Founding Principles. And he tackles this idea that America's founding is really neutral. The ideas are not secular or religious, they're just neutral. And he provides a challenge to this when he uses the works of Thomas Jefferson and Isaac Backus, who one he calls an Enlightenment rationalist and a Calvinist Baptist. He claims that religious freedom was both an extension of their views, their opposing points of view, and a way for them to promote their own religious views. He claims that they're both really dissenters and that religious freedom is a common goal. He further argues that what some see as neutrality in the founding is actually evidence of these unsettled ideas, that there was this debate about religion, about morality. I would contend that there's much more continuity in their philosophy than in their motives. Motives are hard to figure out, but you can really look at ideas, especially when they write them down. I'm really excited about doing more work in this. I've had a lot of thoughts this week about Madison and religion, and can't wait to share with you over the next few weeks what I find.